Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I said, let me like quickly just come and, yeah, it was nothing planned or anything like that, but it was just something that came to my mind. So I've been seeing a whole lot of news, and anyone who knows me knows, like, anyone who personally knows me knows I'm not a news girl. Is it a fashion show? Does it have anything to do with clothes or shoes or Jesus? Let me stop. I've just never been a news girl. I'm aware on like what's going on and stuff like that, so I don't think like I'm clueless or anything. But like just I just get my news through my husband. Okay, he reads the paper every day. He watches the news every day. So I feel like that's good enough for right now until like I build up like my own kind of momentum to kind of like watch the news or whatever. But yeah, so I've been seeing a whole lot of news, and I just thought it was really interesting. Let me see. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because it reminded me of something that I had went through. I've been seeing a whole lot of news regarding like, women just being missing, being abducted, being raped, stuff like that. And it just came back to my whole remembrance, like, yo, at one time that was almost you know what I mean? And so I'll give you guys my little quick story time. So this is probably when I was about 19 years old. And at this time I had needed, I don't know if I needed something done on my car, but at the time, I was still in college. It was like I was 18, 19. And, I still had to get to work even though I had to park the car. But, your girl was taking the bus. So this was probably for about just about a year, a little short under a year. And I remember at this time I was working in customer service at this time. And where I worked like maybe like 3 towns over from where I had lived. So, I would try to keep it to having shifts between like 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, just in case it started to go out of the summer months into like fall. My whole goal was to make sure like I was done before winter time or whatever, so I would be good. So anyway, at this current time, my then best friend, her and I worked together. So there would be times like if it was like an early shift, she would come and pick me up. Or there were some days like she would drop me off. But for the most part, like I tried, I just took the bus or whatever. And so I remember I started seeing this certain kind of man, this weird man, come into my job. And, he was always kind of like asking me questions, kind of like doing like the poor man's pickup. And I call it the poor man's pickup because like, who are you picking up like that? Like, anyway, he was old. To me at that time, I was like 18, 19. I could see he was like mid 40s, breaking 50. He was old to me, you know what I mean? Like, and I've never been that kind of girl who was looking for her daddy in a man and stuff like that. Like, nah, I always like to be with people who were at least in my generation, at least, you know what I mean? So, going on, coming and doing that, and I noticed that it became more frequent, and this was like going on between like 3 to 4 months of this, just every single day, like coming to the store, kind of just flagged off because that was just normal atmosphere for me, for men to be coming up in my face, being lustful or being mad thirsty, or whatever. So anyway, I remember this particular time I got on bus, and I remember he then started getting on the stop after I would get on. So, I'm peeping that like, okay, this dude is in the vicinity every day. Like, I had run into him being down at my cousin's house, a particular place in where I live. It's considered the hood. I never worried about it anyway because half of the people that are there, were either related to me or they knew I was related to my family, or whatever. Nobody was really bothering me in that area or anything like that. So I never really like feared for my life or anything like that. And so I remember my cousin went to go check her laundry, and I was standing outside of the laundromat in the apartment complex that she lived in, and I remember that same guy coming up to me and just being in my face and stuff like that. Same thing, asked me questions, you know, kind of like,
oh, what's your name? Oh yeah, you work up at blah blah blah,
and you know, stuff like that. And I'm looking at him like,
why are you in my face? Why are you talking to me?
And so, like, you know, it was becoming uncomfortable. You know, he started to doing like the, you know, the hungry two-step where he's getting closer, and like he was super duper close. Like if he leaned in, like, you know, we'd be kissing. At that time, my cousin wound up walking out, and then he kind of like, you know, kind of like backed off and kind of like went on his way or whatever. And so, you know, I said to my cousin, I was like, you know, who is that person? You know what I mean? Who is that person? Like, what is his name? And so I remember her saying his name or whatever. And I remember her saying, yeah, he's sick, you know, and whatever. But, you know, I didn't think anything of it. So moving forward, like I said, this was going on 3 to 4 months, like every day. You know, this man is like showing up to my job, and this man is now getting on the same bus I'm getting on, and, you know, stuff like that. So this particular day, he decides that he's going to go in and he's going to make a move. So he's going to get on the bus. And I remember it being really packed that day, because I remember I was standing up and I was hanging on to, I call it the jungle gym bars. And so he walked by me and, you know, giving me like that intense sizing me up look. And I kind of felt like over some time now he was sizing me up for some reason, but I'm just thinking like, you know.
I'm thinking, oh, you thinking in my, oh, that cannot happen to me. You only see that on the news, you know what I mean?
He gets on, and I remember him like getting up and giving someone his seat, like trying to do like he was doing a good deed, but it was really to get to me. So he comes up behind me to hold on the little jungle gym bars or whatever you call it, and he like literally starts to like move in
and start rubbing his front parts on my back parts.
He was doing it like we was doing a slow dance in the Elks Club. Here we go.
Am I imagining this? Is he
like, no one in real life, me being an adult, is dumb enough to do that to me. Like, I don't have the most, especially when it comes to men, I don't have the most friendly face. Like, oh, come and talk to me. I've never been that kind of girl. I don't like that kind of attention, even though, you know, that's the attention I seem to get. So whatever.
This is happening. I'm like, yo, this is happening.
And so, you know, I kind of did like the raper two-step. I did the raper two-step on his toes, and then I kind of like, you know, gave him. And so I feel like in New York, like, it's either one extreme to the other. And this is why people from the South and everywhere else always say this about us. Like, we go on and we mind our business. Like, we're not really worried about anybody else. So we're either super spectating or we're super minding our business. So this day, I guess people were just super minding their business. I guess they just thought, like, I knew this guy, this was my man or whatever. And so I kind of was doing like I told you, like a raper, stomp, two-step, and elbow, you know, whatever. So I kind of got off like a 1 or 2 stops before my stop. And I got off in that area because it was a well-lit area and it was a whole lot of people. Fast forward, same thing is happening every day. He's still coming to the store. He never did the raper rub on me then, but he was still getting on, and he was still getting on the bus, and I just felt like he was watching me. So from after that week on, I kind of like called my best friend at the time. I was like,
yo, I'm gonna have to switch my schedule, and we're gonna have to work the same shifts. Like, you know, this is what happened to me, and like, I'm not feeling it.
So fast forward, this was probably like maybe a month and a half later. I remember this was like the time I was just like kind of coming into God really, and I started to be active, you know, in the things of God. And I remember they were having revival, and I remember it was like a whole week of it. And then I remember it was like the last day, and I remember I was standing outside and I was talking to the prophet who came to visit. He was talking to me and a couple of other young people, and he turns to me and he says, you know,
the Lord sent me here for you. Like, I wasn't even supposed to come here, but I came here for you.
He came all the way from California. And I said, like, for me? I'm like, for me? Like, for me for what? And so he says,
something's been going on with you. Somebody's been following you.
And mind you, I hadn't said anything to my mom. I didn't say even anything to my cousin that day when she even made the comment, you know, on like who the person was. And so I'm looking at him like, yo, how do you know? And this is like how good God is, you know what I mean? And so as soon as he's about to like go in to tell me, here comes the dude. here comes the dude, follow me again. And it was like, yo, everywhere I went, no matter where I went, this guy was following me everywhere. Yo, I could go anywhere in New York, I'm seeing this dude. I could go to Jersey, I can go to Connecticut, like I'm seeing this dude. He's following me. You know, the prophet actually stopped right there. He just looked at him and he just went over to him. I don't know like what the prophet said. His name was William. I don't even know what the prophet William said to him at that. From till this day, William would not tell me what he said. It was like a good like 10 minutes, and then he like skated off. And then he came.
That's the man that the Lord told me that has been following you for 6 months.
And he said,
the Lord sent me here to be like, as he was saying, like as divine intervention, like to intercede for you. And he said he sent me because actually he was planning this week to rape and to give you HIV.
And then it brought me back to when my cousin had said to me, she said, he's sick. And I'm thinking, oh, like he's sick in the head. But that's what she meant, that he was sick. Ow, I never saw the guy after that. I wound up finding out later on that the guy actually had did this to other girls. Like, you know, he was doing this to other women. And I believe like some other women he had succeeded. Not too long after, about like a year or some change, he wound up dying. And I just said, you know, Lord, I thank you for preserving and protecting me from all evil when I didn't even know what was going on. And I think how many other women were like me, didn't know what was going on, and they fell victim to someone like him, you know. So I just thought I would come and tell that. Story time kind of surpassed my mind. That's not kind of something like you like to think about and hold on to in your mind, you know. And yeah, that was actually something that happened to me, and I have more where that's come from. But God is a good God, and he preserves and protects us. Even when God has a hand on your life, let me tell you, you could be doing the most wrong things. And I'm not trying to give you permission to do the wrong things, but you could be doing the wrong things, and the Lord is preserving you. And that's not for everybody, you know. And I just thank God for his mercy and his goodness and grace. And that same mercy, goodness, and grace is available to you as well, you know, whoever's watching. And you know, if you see this video and something like that has happened to you, you know, I would love to, you know, not to have you to relive that, but if you're in a place where you would like to tell, you know, or share, you know, send me an email. My email's down in the description bar. And also, like, leave me a comment, you know, or if you're connected with me on Instagram, you know, inbox me, you know, because, you know, this has happened to other people and nobody has talked about it. And I feel like this is the first time I've actually talked about it. So anyway, I pray that this has blessed somebody and encouraged somebody to, you know, to speak up, you know, if something like this has ever happened to them before. But I just thank God for God's mercy, goodness, and grace. And he's a preserver and he's a protector, even when you have no idea what's going on. So how many things has God preserved and protected you of, and you had no idea he did that for you? So anyway, you guys have a good day. I'm about to go make me some chocolate chip cookies. And till next time, see you guys later. Bye.